Yeah. Tatring ngats dawa ni sum chila. Pache mathone janga jala sonne. Ani treng ngats yan chandela. Ta za dawa de chin chin do kapsa. Ani ngats dela yan chan zong de pe nga go chongsi.
So now we've been apart for 3 months now, and now coming back together again to do our Sukhavati practice. I'm really very happy now for us to be rejoining.
Today in the Jane, any chiranzo chama nga pa suni shula, any chama deo dan sambo, any then the chiri like molam the revangala use.
So it's been my prayer and hope that everyone has been well in the interim since I've seen you.
Any ngayang jala suni kapsa, any chi natsatan the kaya mazone, any parchi the last of what in the kaya mazone, pe deos in the Jorson, pe chivo jonsi.
And I had a very good trip with nothing bad happened. I didn't get sick. There wasn't any big obstacles to overcome. Everything went very well.
The natives are not that range, Tangatoni, not to the Chinchin Drup. That Yamlisia get to Zadawa. The Nichiris chatting as a tens over Yuris, Yina Yang, the Dawa Sungurina, Najala Sunguri. The song is an chance to Samna, Taco Dawa Sungurina Karichiona. Some the Nichisimna, you're any need to go to Kashi Shagins.
And this is our normal time to come together for the Sukhavati practice, and I do want to do it. But some of you may have been curious about what was happening, what I was up to during these 3 months. And so I wanted to take some time this evening to tell you a bit about that.
Today, the Chani, not at the Nipa Jala, New Year's on the day. Jaslo shop, Coligas is at the net. Tang a gumba. Chitin the Jagger in Sohanji. Then it team Sohan Jasa de la. Any Pache, Pepa, Tonda, Nasa Chitinana, the Sayatella Yuri. Any Ronde A, B, C, D, N, Art, and the Sidode. Ronde Nishitasum, the Yuris.
Sunshinandu mi tonranga layore.
Mare te you mare. Chetang koran tomba nana and this in the Mayuche Tama, Dombe Tijan, Pugutan to Tama Tina Matonda young as usually.
So my main objective in going to India was to go to South India, to Kolika, where I'm building a prayer hall, and it's to serve many people there in South India. There's probably about 5,000 people that it's there to serve in 23 different villages.
Today, the Jane, Tanga Dilla, you don't do learning good on 2007, beginning 2007, Natella Son Yuris, Tapa Deni, Tanani lost some Silang and Roger Chonyo Mari. Michitan, you don't do any gods on the Pachel.
So last time I'd been there was the beginning of 2007, so it's been, over 5 years now that I didn't get back there.
The lady Jane, any tea, Tromba, tea, Metasola, any pe, Manyom Chung, any Met Demba, any Chula pe, Devachimbo. Then the Juris.
And these people, they're very humble, honest people with deep reverence for the teachings of Buddha.
And it's like the Jangun Bochidang, very young down, then the Lape, Kuchimbo. And it be very young than the Lape, Donan Chimbo.
And they're especially loyal, patriotic, full of faith and devotion for His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan government, and they're very interested in preserving Tibetan culture.
The Neditane, any Jangun Bochik and Alakanana Natsipu la Kare Yurisina, the Yashude, Bella Young, Burger Young, Burger Young, the Tadan Zambeling, Tamakatachi, Novel the Chilatzen. Chinanzo Ngala Gaochi Yuri, Ngala Gaochiate, Ngala Jimbe Zanchak Yunde Kan you marry, Ngala Chi Maya Bochi Yuna. The Chinanzo Ngala Gao Yuri. Maya Bo Yunga Jet Kani Yunguricina, and the number Chukatoni Yunguri, number Chude Burger Young Chadiri. And the Jawarambochi, Tangatsu Burger Young the Pebaranga Dabo Jayata Khenchen Borisona, that any young at the Song Yuris.
So, Tibetan culture is very important. It's like a jewel for the world, and I've connected with a lot of you people, and you like me, I like you, and I don't have any particular good qualities, but the extent to which I have become a good person, which you're attracted to me, you like me, is through these teachings, through the practice of Buddha's teachings that comes through our culture of Tibet. And so, this is a very important thing for we Tibetans to do, to preserve the culture of Tibet, as His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama insisted that I definitely need to teach Tibetan people. I need to teach where there's Tibetan in centers for Buddhism. Kyang Kang Center Bay. Drubchen Karten Rinpoche. Kyang Kang Center. Kyang Kang Center say Kyang Kang Bar Bay. Richi Kang Center.
Richi Kanzi sin the inchi mini that they ledun sauce in the Dugoyachi.
So there are 5 of us monk lamas who have been entrusted with this work of teaching in the Tibetan centers, teaching the Tibetans so that they can continue to maintain their own culture. And this happens more sometimes in Oregon and other places where there's bigger concentrations of Tibetans when I'm in the U.S. But that's one of my jobs is wherever I go, I need to teach the Tibetans. Because I also think that it's of primary importance that the Tibetans keep their own culture.
Mandawaji chading those. Pen a pellet on the pepana by a massy region of pear on Hanchimbo. Munega pepanachi. Yale chase on the pebatilla, young days are medley. Ta America pellet on the pebatilla, and a pache ta America is of that chas on the people region land or the Kingachimo dogs.
Europe?
Europe the Chibara, that is it.
So, there's Tibetans that are born in India, there's Tibetans that are born in Europe, Tibetans that are born in America, and there's some differences.
Tibet's born in Tibet.
Those are born in Tibet. Did I say? Tibetans born in Tibet. Tibetans born in India, Tibetans born in America and in Europe. And there's a difference between these Tibetans. The Tibetans born in Tibet, they have the greatest interest in their Tibetan culture and are the most embedded and absorbed in their culture, you could say, true Tibetans. But when Tibetans are born in India, they start to lose a bit of that. They become take on more of the shape of Indian culture, and in America and in Europe, most of all, that Tibetans born in these countries tend to really lose a lot of their own Tibetan culture. So, we talk about Tibetan independence, we talk about, losing Tibet, and in this situation, really the most important thing is for the culture to be preserved. For Tibetans to sustain their own culture. Tibet has been lost in a certain way. But, if Tibetans can sustain their own culture, then it's really sustaining the same purpose of Tibetan independence. Because even if Tibet was regained as a country, if the Tibetan culture was lost, that would be the end of it anyway. It no longer would be anything to spread and for people to learn about. So I think that preserving the culture in the meantime, until Tibet is regained, really serves as in effect the Tibetan independence, that Tibetans are independently holding their own culture in the world.
Kakyorsi Tibet region se atela region la mambo chin rosa do kakyorsi atela wa kakyorsi region se atela region la mambo do wa pene chi ye shabro chi la so ba deyang chegu la so ba region wa te ta region ka nimbo so te kare do sine pe region ngoma te nangbu chu ke ta drup te nangbu chu de chu ke na ni yarab zang chu sine ma ya bo cha ya de And
among Tibetan culture, there's of course a lot of different varieties of crafts and songs and dances, but at the very heart of it is the Tibetan Buddhism, the view, the philosophy, and the practice of Tibetan Buddhism, that which shapes Tibetans into good people. So out of all of these aspects of Tibetan culture, it's the Tibetan Buddhism which is the most essential part of it, really the essence of it.
다 정부는 뭐지 공시라 벽 낭라 아니 벽 낭라 다 난추대 야보지 학과에 계시 뭐 노시.
So His Holiness the Dalai Lama has spoken about the great importance of therefore Tibetans themselves knowing Tibetan Buddhism.
대인들 전에 딱 나게야 뒤치더니 배발을 주시는 호요리 달로 자가서 쇼르드네 진에 손이시.
And so that was largely the mission that I was involved in going to South India this year.
제당 자하소쇼라 베베 곰바 mambochi 요리 아니 지 근데 라마당 게비시니 근데 mambochi 요리데 이나양 디 코르데게 아니 소수 곰바 낭라 주시에 대할래 미시양 지초 그 마망그토라 주시야시라 요 말이시 마망그토라 주시엔 kin시라 요 말이시 제당 자하소쇼라 곰바 mambo 요리시 라마다 게비시니 mambo 요리데 이네 소수 곰바 낭라 다할래 주시에 대할래 미시 마망라 주시에니시라 문도시.
Now there are various Tibetan monasteries in South India, quite a few, but for the most part, no one teaches the public there's lamas in these monasteries, and they primarily teach the monks in the monasteries. So there's no one that's really teaching to the general public there. And so, from when I went there in 2007 and began teaching this practice, the Sukhavati practice, the Buddha Amitabha practice, it's been very helpful for a lot of the people there in South India.
Ani ta tatang etela lungba tela chetang tata kondu sheba nanji de mbol mambo ma tonda nga sa ji yuri ani jasho ta rimbeji de ma jasho ni shu tsaksum tonde ni shu tsaksum de ji yuri de yina yang koran solam chokang de gomba da chi ja chi bon zomsa de ji yo mari khamba chung mi ani ngala sacha ji te song sing ma koran chu sacha nyo ma go san sacha ji te ri ti to ngai ta gomba ji ja ga yo si de.
And so therefore, there is also no real place for the general public to meet in prayer halls. And that was why the people of South India offered me this land in Kolkata for creating a prayer hall. It didn't cost us anything, it was offered. And so it's this plan to make a great prayer hall that will be able to serve many people.
Anything come about that all such a yabo, Matun Khanza Sum, then the Khanza Sum you but then the Jaguri, and the Shabkan Kamba de Lang Kamba Chimbujuri, Matonda Jig Zomtuli, Matong Jig Nana de Tuliki Shonse, and then Kamba Chimbuji Jaguri, and the Talo Kamba de Okang the Tama, Pachin, then the Drum Dosi.
So it's going to be a rather large building of 3 stories, and with the prayer hall capable of holding about 1,000 people. And now the lower floor of the prayer hall is pretty much completed.
Oh, the name is Jane. Tanga Talosuni Kapse, Jaso Shola, Nima Jusicirena. And it's all the Chinchin Drubche, and the Nangchen Adeu Rinpoche. Then they say the Kanakansa Yabo Johnson.
And so it was for a 10-day period that I gave teachings there in South India, teaching the Sukhavati practice, the Buddha Amitabha practice, and introductions to Buddhism, and it went quite well.
Ani tapagi jal sosho ke dechin shundrup ko chopa de ji yuri ani ti chopa ke mingtho ni ani da California ngacho menju shiri Dharma Center ani di chopa la ani Koran choke trashi delays ani ngarang cho chama ani lama chi ka loma ani chu nyamni chi ba dechin shundrup chamen delaya dechin shundrup nang yuri phagina dechin shundrup nang yuri nyamni chu nyamni chi ba lama chi ka loma de de chane chame trashi delays ne ta khaza ngala de chi la ro chi si.
And all these people in South India send their greetings to all of us here as students of the same teacher, doing the same practice together. They send their warm regards to all of us.
Teta chapjik da ni khachang choi mayong la ngona Malaysia la yang menju shi de Dharma Center ta jibari de chuso de yang jiang chola ani chuso ko chozo ke dan di de jimda de Koran ranking de jimda de ke ani tashi de le shiro jisina khachang ni khabaju ne ke ja shong so de la dos.
And the students in Malaysia also send their greetings, and the publisher of this book, our practice, they send their greetings.
Oh, the name is Jane. Any jar social la, then you might just say that. Already, that ambo deni pass on the Dili song, Dili Dharamsala, then you might nishes jilla, and in a Tambo jar social mason huna, and the jar Dharamsala, you might nishes jilla, and in a Samo Tang Punja Tendichala, and it is there.
Actually, first I went to Dharamsala before going to South India, so I was there for about 20 days with my niece and other relatives.
And the day that nga manalensi satene da juran shikdo ati manalensi sachate ta böge sachen raoji yuri da nga te nga bö lombala malhebna ta lo mambon ro yuri te yine bö sangomala malhebna ya ani ta ti manalensi satene ani nga ka chawo ta chammo nga chu bünja chala ani nima kyusi jile ya nyam da sonyin.
And then I went for 10 days with my relatives to Manali, which is a landscape that's rather similar to Tibet. And since I hadn't been to Tibet for such a long time, it was very nice to go there and be reminded of the Tibetan land.
Ani Manalenge language la ani sope ma singoro Rinpoche dan thongsa dang de sesa dan ne ya bo yore gomba ma bo yore ani de la yang ne go ji le qin xi. Re. Sono wo men choji den thong ra.
And on the way to Manali, there's Tsopema, a lake, very sacred lake of the birthplace of Guru Padmasambhava. Went there.
Ani dini cho Dharamsala yong, ani Dharamsani jede ma ja lo jo le chung, ja lo jo le nima ju le de. Ani de cha de le ya yong.
So then back to Dharamsala and then south to South India for those 10 days. And after that, then I came back to Delhi.
Delhi ni ani Shirigurish tada de Drubkhang Rejong ka sansam tada Darjeeling si sa ti sajat ne mara pu de dapo meju pha me ma meju de tarok sobda de kashi ji sa de la rokwa ji la yang jin ro ki so ji so yin si.
And then I went to a place called Siliguri, near it's in the border between Bhutan and Sikkim, near Darjeeling, where there was an orphanage, about 24 orphans, that I went there to see about helping them.
Ta mahumbala ani ja so sho ka le ka de ka le ya bu ji charo chena ani da de Darjeeling de pu de ji ta ro lo bra de ko la ti so wa ji si thna sa nga mi ye de ji ya yin si.
So it's kind of a future idea for when the project in South India is well completed, to possibly be able to help these orphans there with their a school perhaps or something like that.
Te pu de be ba ji ga yo ma de ti na na ma yu chi shi de ja ani Nepali ani ru pa kha shi ji yu ri bu ba yo ma ri.
These orphans, there's no Tibetans among them. It's actually Indians, Nepalis, and Bhutanese. There's a few Bhutanese orphans there.
Deyang ani Japa Rinpoche ke ka na je Japa Rinpoche le hong ni office ni ma de le ga de churan le ya bon do so na ka na ji ri.
And this was a directive that I received also from His Holiness the Dalai Lama and from the Tibetan government. That's to think about taking responsibility for this.
And
so after 4 days there, I came back to Delhi.
다 대치 신럽 세는 파진 되게 열 다 대치 신럽 도 차시에 당은에 그 대치 신럽 때 같이 별은 속고 열이 별 낭라 다다 별발란 속고 용하게 아니 다당에 딜리니 대비 소요리 디 대때 다 파진 알면시 디 대때 자 바열 당아 요 말이지 좀신 간이시나 대때 코랑 당부 마이지들 교시나 자버 대때 아니 참이라가 아스게 내지 무남 디 토라 아니 설망 킨지 베마 남자게 대화치네 집에 주지 주 당보 신고 일을 팀바 이바 게자 바미 사바 숨바 상주도 신지바 이바 홍화도 무남 디 이게 마 삽제다 지 야네 라바도 디 주 이바데 주 junjuk nani jase shiwa la junjuk nani lewe ni pa kapsa ene yina dumba to sakwa se ne ta kang ta dumchu da se ne je le pe ma si chwa ya bo ji tende yore ene tenga pinju ja pa yole ti tep za wa ni yo ma le si yi cha de tende de zane ene nge ta lo te ge chimbo se ne de la chi computer na ma zu ya dang sama ani 가장 초마용 후나 아니 들리니 쇼다 따야다 참아들 내가 강만 간사 여보 종송 아니 마음 발때 대입지 소리 차이연시.
And arriving back in Delhi, then there is another extensive practice of Sukhavati. We do call our practice Sukhavati practice, and it's a valid name for it, and yet it's a middling length practice, and what is renowned as the Sukhavati practice, a very special one in Tibet is a more extensive one. And it was composed by Karma Chagme Rinpoche, and I probably have about the only copy of this practice, this text myself in India. And so it's a very special thing, and one of the things that makes it special is it's really geared around the 4 causes of taking rebirth in Sukhavati, which, if you remember what those were, the bringing to mind the mandala of the Pure Land of Sukhavati, and then gathering the roots of virtue, then bodhicitta, and then prayers and dedication. These 4 being the way of definitely taking rebirth in Sukhavati. And so Karma Chagme Rinpoche really geared or composed his practice, the ritual of the practice, around those 4 causes, taking them as the outline, and with notes about how to do the practice, but very extensively, and especially the second cause, that of gathering roots of virtue. For that, extracted the very extensive 7-limb prayer from the Bodhicharya Avatar of Shantideva. And so it seems a very important work to do. It's something that's proliferated a lot in Eastern Tibet, in Kham. So since it was work that I felt it was very important to do, then while I was in Delhi that time, then I worked on the computer, entering it into the computer and editing it and getting it ready. So for some future publication, be an even more extensive scripture of the Sukhavati practice.
So that
was 23 days of hard work. Busy, hard work.
Labat any chance that newspaper and Hong Jero, internet, take up Jala, lotion, law Melika Kangachata, Makashila. And in name Malapesha, Nimala Lacha, competing in a Matsuya tang, and it should out Naya tang, Dan Samson a law share, and in Samson a mutla. Tad and the saying, when I Mutla, Mayungum Samson, law made the Mayungum, but that and the saying. You did law, you did me, you did law me, that and this in it. Then you might use some that a bear, Kangan that Kanta Chama computer and June, Sanang Dep doing Chochos in my Yayos.
And an added complication during that time was when the electricity went out in India. And this emergency, there were 2-3 days, people without electricity, and so that was an obstacle. And we, when there's no electricity, people couldn't come to work, and so there was hindrances. But we finally did get this entire work done, where it's just about ready for the publication in Tibetan.
Only the Nichi any Katan that Dawasum the Tenet to shoot some of the Zori, that and the Yachi, Marchi, and the Roa. Dawasum good to shoot.
So that pretty much used up those 3 months of.
any topic Kangta Kazang Narang Song Loju. Top Jala Sumik Song Loju, Dorduchi Siena, that Dawasum Grinang, Chiranjusana, Tako Kawanda and Dogoyunayang, who current Chirionayang. The Sango Yuri, the Neditani, Tang Song Loju, dorduchi tere tere insi.
So that's a brief account of what happened in South India, so that you can, in case you were wondering what I was up to during those 3 months.
Ta tere nga tsu charjing ka za dawa re, za dawa de nga tsu ngola ngune pe, ta te nga pinju za dawa la, mandu me yipju ngapju tukyo tenen zongo yore, nyungdu me nisun, ta ma che wasi nendin chokhang nandane, ta nga zo lorang khashi chikla, lo khashi chikla ta nga tsu dele nyami se yore, tende hindu chane, ta tere nga tsu yanjar, deshin shingdong go tsuki yinsi.
And so now we'll go on with our Sukhavati practice, which now for quite a while, number of years now, we've been doing this practice here every Monday, sometimes many people, 30 or 40, sometimes just a few, but very continuously throughout that time. And so we'll now do that practice again.
Tende hindu chane, ngay tata kongdu xiedu, ta ngay dechin shingdup, dele laga chi teb yabu chi, eni pepa la patong shiki yu samdi, yan chiran chokin di teb nan chong se ne, oda ku pepa la teb ya shu de patong shiki sari, nga chol teb tu yabu chi insan mari san, chiran chu tende san lo madang si.
Now don't think because I was talking about another more extensive Sukhavati practice, that's very special that you could, that therefore this is inconsequential, what we have, to start to sort of look down on it or disdain it or something. No, there's no need to do that.
Tata ngini debi ngini kecha xie cayin si samba tasin la, nga so dele manzo la ngo na, dina ni kecha xie yin, ngay deb tu chik chun tu na, pe tola ma chi par chadu, ani debi kong la chegi yin, ani ngini kecha xie ne, tate ma jun na, ani sijar wala, sijar we me la, ta yin ji me dende la, ping tosa rita mari, tambo ngini kecha chi xie. Tan degin diksa rin, di na na mantu pa mendu, deka pachen diksa rin samsang yinba yina, chidi jor godong si yu marwa. Chidi chi jor taba yina, tan zabiling ka na inchi la pachen te tambo rin. Ta te te nga, poyik la ya jaga payo la ta nga lakpa ni misi yungu yu mari, tende indi chane, ta inchi la jo ya te tambo rin. Ta maung pala nga chu jor taba yina, ani samatanga inchi.
So Rinpoche says he wants to give me a copy of that extensive text when it's published, and then for us to talk about it and consider whether it seems it would be a beneficial thing to translate into English. If it is, it would be the first time that's happened, as the original Tibetan text is coming pretty much out of my hand, only copy of that. So, if we feel that it's something that would be beneficial, then we'll go ahead with that project. Otherwise, there's nothing really missing from this practice, of the middling length practice that we have. It's perfectly effective and fine the way it is. So there'll be something we'll consider in the future.
다 다른 펩살이 된데 전에 양 뜻이 티지 심틴데 세고나 곰틴데 지세 아버가서 뇌밭 윤용지네.
And so we'll do the practice in a bit abbreviated way this evening, and do some meditation. And because we have translation, I'll give a bit of meditation instructions also.
당에 남주 지난주 시기에 취시에 값서 개 친구고네 충의일래장 혼도 삽시는 혼도도 개 진신의 시에게 요리다 마음 제식 지난주 하고 요리 시던데 인도 전에 되는 눈주 추대 다 내진신들에 맞는 문에 당가주 공통주야다 개 친버리 충의일래장 혼도 삽시야 측라배 되나 고주 요리 근데 인도 전에
Now most of you have probably heard me before speak already about how the preparation, the preparatory stage of practice is even more profound, even more important than the practice itself. And so we're going to do the recitation of the Sukhavati, accomplishment of Sukhavati, but setting our motivation, first of all, before we do it, the practice is very important. So, or adjusting our, correcting our motivation is necessary.
다 공롱 주디 전에 간듯이 주고르시나 다 낭펀 타다냐베 심진 탐지 랑다드 대완도 봐 아니 랑다드 동하면 돼봐 심진 참아 지바인 봐 대 심진 대남 대완 대장 아니 지 대외 추 대외 주 가래인 봐 드마시네 아니 동하르게 앙나 족대 봐 디 심진 대남 대와드 되는 지 말어 동하다잖아 지 말어 디 대와드 딤베 탑시된 드레는 고좀네 담배 추냐 지르 되는 드레는 고좀네 시긴 삼바 아니 공농 담자는 전네 류지 추가 담자는 전네 아니 삼마 담바이나 야고 요리시.
And so to form our motivation, we think of all living beings throughout space, all wanting happiness, just as we do, all wanting to be free of suffering and problems, just as we do. And yet, although they want happiness, contemplate that they don't know how to create the causes for that, and are constantly entering into suffering, experiencing suffering. So thinking of that state of all living beings throughout space, I think, if only they could experience happiness, causes of happiness, if only they could be free of suffering, causes of suffering. And I myself will dedicate myself to this, and in particular now the practice of the Sukhavati recitation I will do for that purpose of freeing all living beings throughout space from suffering and its causes, and conjoining them with happiness, peace, and causes of happiness.
어디든지 자네 아니 다다 같이 상하 님부추 유대는데와 아니 유대 예담 대지게 당 공부 빠미게 근데지게 예담 듣고 유대 자네 대라양 다다 공도 시바 난시 주 예다 dim나 아니 대화진의 지야 주 예다 마디마이나 대화진의 머지와 배는 주 당보 신고 일을 팀바 니바 게자사바 숨바 상주고 심 예바다 화 모남 다디 예데 배마시 개침보지 인도자네 아니 당보들라 아니 되지나 관한 공부 빠미 아니 산지 오빠미 무슨도 주대요 삼바 아니 무슨세나다 먹은 이만용 나양 다다 탕칸을 뒤야반 되나이 이 영어라 start함 아니 되지나 관아요 삼바.
And in the course of doing this practice, keep in mind the four causes for taking rebirth in Sukhavati. With these four causes present, we can take birth, we can migrate, transfer, be reborn in Sukhavati. Without these four, we can't. So remember what they are. It's bringing to mind the mandala of the Pure Land of Sukhavati, the gathering of the accumulations of merit and wisdom, bodhicitta, and prayer and dedication. And all of these are important. So first of all, that bringing to mind the mandala of the realm of Sukhavati. So you can think about the Pure Land of Sukhavati being present in the space before you. If you haven't seen it before, you can think of the Tanka, Buddha Amitabha, and other Avalokiteshvara, Vajrapani, and all the other holy beings, gurus, yidams. This is a tantric practice, so as such it pertains to a particular meditational deity form of Buddha Amitabha. And in this practice, these four causes are of primary importance. So we begin by visualizing, by sensing, by feeling the presence of the mandala of the Buddha, Amitabha, Sukhavati, the pure realm of Sukhavati, before us.
Oh, any sanga ge chusia de la, any zo singutoni de batang, mu de batang yichi, any lama de yedam mu, that de pe masi kechimbo.
In the practice of Tantra, the mental devotion, and reverence in the meditational deity and the Guru is of primary importance. It's accomplished through the deep faith and conviction in the practice.
Oh, the need to any delayang, any tangaga going in the bandu delayang, tangay namju shibanai, Chinguru Rinpoche, the song you are. Che Paman build the Dunyang la, Poman Lingbu Dangtan him by ye, Nimchi to roll now so a top sona. That you got you so on the Tang delayang. I think Dang Himbu young ta dang himbo the jun. I think I took care of himbo simena that ring Kong de la Yuri Meko. And it couldn't get dang himbo dang the jan and English teen yonder. And it gave a dang. And you don't to you colleague and it's slap New York at them you saw your.
And the way we recite mantras and recitations is, as I've said before, quoting Guru Rinpoche, with the like a child calling for its mother, with the beauty of lutes and flutes, praying throughout the 6 periods of day and night continuously. So we want to chant as beautifully as we can. Our voices may not be as beautiful, but we do have the accompaniment of Michael today to especially give us very beautiful music, which is auspicious for more quickly connecting, more quickly exhorting the deity to action. So that's the importance of the beauty of the music. Lai tu dembe koro. Tuji koro. On page 25, the prayer to the lineage gurus of the Sukhavati practice will be beginning there.
Tate laju sonde tanyamde. Any soying a satabya, the urite, laju sonde tinane, Zawa Sungur Mejinema. So as the Kodwati Jackson sonde tedang dinner. Any dungeon Kalangumbo, Bam Musum de Judio Samba. Any Dijin dinner, any Rangalunga Yisum down, any Saint Chuba, the Dangajun Delan. That Saint Chuba, the Shamyuri. Any Nangchen Chuba, Mira Tosum. Any Sawan Chuba, Tashitabia, the Jebjela Soba. That Gangta Janchi, Sanang Samson, will be Pamjo Yonso, but Chasanga, and Gombo Bamir, Rangalunga, Yisum the Jeba, Chasanga, Burgu, Samba. Any Giovanni, Chertam, Chidden Gombo, Bami, Chich, two Zewa Chimbi. Sanji, Compama, Toji Bad, any Jesus on Chi, Samba, and it's all dependent.
So in connection with this prayer to the gurus of the lineage of the Sukhavati practice, we can also visualize the merit field. Because as it's mentioned, there's requests to the gurus, yidams, dakinis, and so on. So we can visualize also there before us that merit field, the guru tree, as it's called. There's the picture of it in the beginning, on that page 14 of the book. And in connection with this, we make the offerings, external offerings set out on the altar. We make internal offerings of the red and white drinks and the torma, ritual cake. We make secret offerings of the auspicious symbols and substances. And we make prayers to be able to bring delight, to please Buddha Amitabha, who we still are visualizing. They're actually in the space before us. We pray that we may be able to please Guru Amitabha in all of our lifetimes. And we do this prayer along with these kinds of aspirations and different factors of making offerings and so on. So now we'll go on to page 80.
80.
Page 80.
80.
80. Emaho Ngozar.
Emaho.
We're starting on the second line of page 80. Emaho Ngozar Sanje, Emaho Wondrous Buddha Amitabha.
Emaho Ngozar Sanje, Nangwan Daye Dan. Tuje Jembo Tuje Dola So. Sanje Jasem Palme Danje Lo. Seje Gube Senje Soa Dala Jole Yode Zole Nawa Daye Dewa Jinje Wanye Zamba Jide Wanjuwa Seje Jashi Dambo Dazana Ome Jede Dane Begaje Tozo Dada Jen Jen Kume Bebe Nandu Jirunju Tuga Yundu Jiwa Dabuye Papa Beba Soko Zumboda Teje Jingo Yonzu Zomasa Sobo Juba Dade Yeta Amin Yewe Mante Yesuko Tele Yusu Kado Nazoba Yutu Nede Nanga Japa Yayang Seda Zemba Zemba Sanje Zemba Vegedye Ada Drobe Korwa Donetu Sujen Zume Senje Danje Kun Ba Mebe Gomban Toba
Tateke Gom Tatang as you Dorduida, and then it's a corsong sinem ship. I said, then Chasang Mando Samari. The day the Jane Tateke Namjung as so Obami can Yiba or Amid Divare. The Yibalatine and then the Jinam Kalangombo Obami, Song for Yonsuba. Chatang what the teaching go, Chatang you sambase. Chatang you sambase at the social gong top the young goddess. Gombo tops at the bed arching body. Chatang lu nga yi sum ganani, Tadachi Merkin the chin at the Kalajaku lu nga yi sum the Merk shook chin at it. Ben a magic shook chimbo, chick take it at the bafu the Kalajaku lunga is from the Jagodoa. This soon good Nantini Karazo Chiaris in a single Nevada best ochimboy. The ladies on the Chiranjo and Dunjan Nankalang Gombo Obama, you Samba Zamji, and then Gombo Obama con you so. The ladies on any touch it tea, Gombo tops in a maple top the catchimbody. The G. Touch it to the gin. Tangane Dunjan Nankala, I think Gombo Obama is handing you the you, Samba. Touch it to the G at the catchimbody.
So we're, of course, doing the practice in a very abbreviated way this evening. And here we recited the mantra of Buddha Amitabha. And as we do this, part of the visualization is to feel very strongly that Buddha Amitabha and the entire Pure Land of Sukhavati is really present in front of us. This happens through the power of our meditation. Human beings have three sources of action: body, speech, and mind. And if somebody is really a strong person, it's through their body, speech, and mind being strong. But among those three, it's the mind that from which the most strength can derive. And so that is for us to draw on now in our visualizing and just feeling that definitely Buddha Amitabha is really present there before us. So to bring up that state of mind very powerfully, single-pointedly, undistractedly, feeling that. The power of our meditation is very important. The power of the mind.
Today the Jane, Tata Mazu, Tangombo Obama, Drubchen Karnor Rinpoche, Yamja the Jitop Captain, Gombo Obama, the Ushisi, you should do Gombo Obama, Zonko Yonsu of Chatawa, Nature, and a marble combat, Chong Sabas, marble combat, Rembe in the Ma, Tim the Janerang, Jewelatum. Jewelatum Bada Yamda, and Lujigo in Subway. That's all Jim Martin Valley Mama Sangachi, but the Batas on somebody. And then Lutini Jang, Gombo Obama, go, Chip Namji go to Jewat and the Chip, you got a chat on Saba. And it remains in the Gombo Obama, Marpot in Dimbala Mayon, Dimbala Lepa and Yam to Hagagonis up with the Pa, during the Tamasik of Ancha. And it being art and ya, and in Suyan Tayan, not to joke any, that chip, and the chick, long you joke. That you go long to good and long you joke into Pakawa, and the Julia Yasong Saba. And it remains in the Marpot in Ninkala Mal, Ninkala Lepa and Yamde, and it's single going supper. That Namsing the new Santa Lokta. That yet not Dupala Mambo, you did Rapachan is yet, make it you and do you are Rapachan Mashi. Or the make it you, the father chat on what a done, and it seemed to knee down, and it should you go, Gombo Bamage. Should you go, Chimbe Cha, the Nejigla. That you didn't at all younger singing all Adang. That the golden daughter to Mashu, the Desidu, should you call it your song Sabasi. Tartok, and then Gombo Obami down, Gombo Obami, go song took down, Rangalunga ism the any Chipachi Jang song Sabase.
And then at the conclusion, eventually we visualize the entire Pure Land of Sukhavati and Buddha Amitabha all melting into light, into an orb of brilliant red light that then comes gradually to the crown of our head and then enters the crown of our head And as it does, we feel, imagine that all of our negativity of our body, killing, stealing, any bad karma we've created in the past, sexual misconduct, or any of these are purified. And that our body and takes on the form of the Nirmanakaya, the emanation body, the body of Buddha Amitabha. And then the orb of light passes down to our throat chakra, and as it reaches there, it purifies all of our negativity of speech, of having lied or spoken harshly or divisively or meaninglessly. All negativity of speech is purified. And we feel that our speech is transformed into the Sambhogakaya, the full enjoyment body of Buddha Amitabha, and that we attain the speech, the enlightened speech of 64 Brahma qualities with all sorts of miraculous qualities of the enlightened speech. And then the orb of light passes down to our heart chakra, and we feel that all our negativity of mind, such as covetousness or malice or clinging to distorted views. And so there's many different kinds of negativity, but in all they're condensed into these 10 negativities, that all of these 10 non-virtues are purified, and that our mind and transforms into the truth body, the wisdom body, the Dharmakaya of Buddha Amitabha, with its factor of wisdom and knowledge. And we'll come back to that a bit for our meditation as we look at the nature of that mind of Buddha Amitabha. But feel now that your mind is transformed into that Dharmakaya, the mind of Buddha Amitabha, and so that all of our body, speech, and mind is completely transformed and becomes inseparable with the body, speech, and mind of Buddha Amitabha.
Page number 100. 100.
So let's meditate on this now for 5 minutes.
다 고음 잡리 값을 아마 망보지고 고음 잡기 인식이 요리 meditation 시는 파 시엔도 라테나 레 라온다치 파 레 라온다치 참에 다들 meditation 시듯이 레 라온다치 요리 다 직신의 레 라오리 직신의 레 라오 인지 말이 와 땅에 가장 댐 나한테네 아주 댐지 가장 하드 에드바스 다르마 넥터 시티 나한테네 지릭다 말이니까 지반다지 다 지릭나 산지 말이나 심지세한다지 시에게 요라다 호데나 레라와지리 또 소진이 때나 디스 깔에 가오 요리 디스 지 공간디스 자고 요 바래 하고야 개지 머리.
So many people talk about meditation, doing meditation, and it might appear to be something it's not that complicated, simple. And from one point of view, it may not be very complicated, it may be simple. From another point of view, it's a little difficult. For instance, in the 21 verses of Heart Advice that I gave you, there's the verse about, it's just a matter of whether you know it or not, whether you're awake or not. And from that point of view, it sounds pretty easy. It's simply a matter of waking up as opposed to not waking up or being asleep. But as for how to actually do meditation, to know how to go about doing it, there's some, it's not that easy. There's some difficulties involved. So you may not have this sheet today with the inducing the Dzogchen view, but it begins, Maying, Maying, Drempe Gyangso Su. Don't wander, extend mindfulness.
Maying, Maying, Drempe Gyangso Su, Siate, Kariting, Yurisina, Maying Siate, Sin Namdo, Ying the Maying.
So what is this not wandering about? It's about the mind not wandering after thoughts, after concepts.
Namdo maybe saying the Lakana Jingus with Sina. Pena, Tata Dzogchen Dang, and in as new mother Kaju Hirang Sina, Tata Shiba Sashin Ripa. Tata Shiba Manga Saleva Kunzang Dumungo Boteka Osumba Nanji. Tata Shiba. Ne Tata Kitty Yimba, Chanso Tata Kitty Ninjimba. Since Sashin Ripa Sarik and Siniji. That must do that chooks and chick tell you. Chooks a chick. And you just saying all the third day on Waina, Kotata Simtela, any Namdo Yimbe Parmachuba. Sarsing Ripa de la Tawa. That in the Chikorang water. Or Ting all the twos. Namdo Yimbe Yimbala Mayings. That Dodo Hina.
So what are we not wandering away from? Well, as it's taught, particularly in our Nyingma and Kagyu traditions, it's this present moment of awareness. Great importance is given to that, the present moment of awareness of whatever we're doing, whether we're listening or speaking, or anything, that in that present moment, it is possible for an instant to get a glimpse of this pure nature of our mind, this nature of clarity and awareness. And it's clear like space, and that there's no obstruction there. There's no kind of gross form involved, and yet there's this cognitive quality, reflective quality to it. But between thoughts, when thoughts are not happening, then it's possible to get a glimpse of that bare or naked nature of our own mind. And then the verse goes on the path of distraction lurk demonic bandits.
Lalan Sunja Kondomanda Chitan, Don Kodeni Rajitan, Menda Kodeni, do Seattle, Tenechi Mary. Jinwanala Duji Java, Do Karesina, that's a Tamateke, Chadang Himbe seem to do this. Do we same the Jane, Do Karesina, Chadang is Ransola Chapa, and the Jinsola Dangwa, and the Chadang Salmonda, Madasin, and simple Nam talk. Do what it is, do all the do's.
And so what are these demons, bandits? They're not external bandits that carry swords or spears, but the internal demons or maras of the delusions, as it said in the next line of the verse, attachment and aversion are the demons. These are what distract us. The attachment to ourself, to our own side, aversion to others, other side.
The chadang ni deke, and then you want to talk to Lasoba, the chat, she down. That the mo maja chado, chats on the dinner.
And so that includes, and that is from what derives all of the different delusions, afflicted states of mind, like pride and envy and jealousy and ignorance.
All the day the Chadan Shimbis the day, Ninzi Kundur Jumung or Dusi.
And then the last line of the verse says, so look at the illusory nature released from duality.
The name the Jane, Tata the Naranju Sim Tata Tadang Hiebak Simwe, since Sakin Tiba, Sim Walk, Womala Tan the Capsule, and then you moto cha. Sama the part down.
So when we look at that pure, clear nature, essence of our own mind, its clear, aware nature, then all of these maras of attachment and aversion are cleared, they're dispelled, cleared away.
Kada Mapu Ransi, Munjur Basi. That the same with Chachatela Garisina, Kada Mapupa. That Dzogchen Kapsina, Kada Tritrul Dorjechang, Kada, that remains in the mountain, Kada Mapu Ransi, Munjur Basi. That the equals a single Matela. That they shake you at dinner in the.
And the next line says, primordially pure, unfabricated, one's own mind manifesting. So there it's saying, well, what is this clear cognitive nature of the mind, this pure nature? It's the unfabricated nature of our own, of our being since forever. You know, it's particularly in the Dzogchen, Kargyur Nyingma traditions, this mind of the purity is said to be primordial, that it has always been that way, it is simply that what has always been without fabrication and manifesting, appearing, coming into awareness.
Sanji Yin Mido, Rasa Shosi. Kangachu da Jingumbo Bamisi, the Ding La, Sunza Bay La, Tandela in Sunza Bay Lassi. Sunza Bay La, again, Sunzi Dunjila. That is long or Matida. Sanji Yin Mido, Rasa Shosi, the Nichikin Yumon, Dungan Namdo Chasa, the Pata, Darsin, and Mipe Chani, and the single Ogotoba. That they are shipping Nimbos in the yet they are shipping Nimbo. Takanishi in a young, Tangachi Susa Dunja Lassi and that day Momat is hanging Momat there is, the new model is hanging to this.
And when that happens, then as the next line says, Buddha is nowhere else, settle right where you are. So when we have that kind of when that occurs, that our own primordially pure, unfabricated mind manifests, then there's nowhere else to look for Buddha. Buddha is right there. The Buddhas that we visualize separate from ourselves are symbolic, representative Buddhas, whereas the actual Buddha that's to be found is right there in our own, is that realization of our own primordially pure, unfabricated mind.
Yin Sorju Midora Sashosi, Yin Zana Ragamarish, Sanji Yin Gomarish,
So again, not seeking it elsewhere, settle in the natural state. Without meditation, spontaneous established, enlightenment is attained. So at that point, all such concepts are purified, or they're done away with. And at that time, they can't be found. Even if you search for them, even if you intentionally want them, they can't be found. So in this meditation, we look at the very essence of our own mind, the entity of our own awareness. And this I would encourage you to do daily, on maybe 5 minutes one day, and gradually increasing it 10 minutes next day, and so on. So to give an example what this experience is like when we see the nature of our own mind, as in the praise of the of the mother of the Buddhas, beyond speech, thought, expression, wisdom gone beyond, unborn, unceasing, with a nature like space, discerning, transcendent wisdom's sphere of awareness. So, as it's described there, it's an internal experience of one's own awareness, which if one had to describe it, it would be impossible, as said in the verse, inexpressible, just like the taste of sugar or brown sugar. You know that it tastes differently than anything else that you've tasted, and you have that experience. You know what the experience is like, but really verbalizing it, describing it in words to someone else, it's not possible. So it's like that.
Ani tende sinata gomla yurumbo sinata gomyung kale ya sing tende chi swa yina ani sem ko to ba de ya nam phan nam do de ma nyong de song ta do chi nam do de nyong de song ani sem ngune gi shi ko to ba de gong nam phan ne ani di kap se ani nga chi di ba de dba la so ba rang to go ni ko rang di ba de dba dik thap la so ba ya de ka ta ba Tony Tony caps, the body do batches on thousand door, and it needed an any cheap. Don't have any caps, Satan lambs in the sap, your lamb was here there, and the Rimbe single Tony Zalmogang and Rimbe the Andor.
So as we practice this meditation, then we'll gradually improve, and the delusions, concepts, thoughts will gradually be dispelled, and will come more and more into the awareness of our own mind, our own consciousness. And as that happens, we will be purified more and more, because awareness of shunyata itself purifies the negative karma, and we'll progress, we'll gradually develop through the 5 paths and the 10 stages of the Bodhisattvas.
Yeah. 다 된다. 다른 아주 너르지로와. 제당 아자니 소용 가서 당 아시 성고로주. 다른 제당 로주시야리 이네 다 자다와든 아주 기와드바. 캘리포니아 그 자다와데 아주 니 몬트리니 강반에 이제 자다와데 제모제야당 아니 다싱 타야당. 라 된데게 자다와 말이지. 무슨 자다와데 수남 그 자다와 수남 침보 그 자다와. 자다와데 자니마 니마 다와 미마 라파페 자 둘레 체바든 파바진 아주 자다와데. 근데 인디 자네 아니 주란들은 게임주들 페 근데 인디 자네 고갈때 심네 아니 남준 차진 시대야 등에 마치난 소라 생그tin 소고치라 마 근데시 휴인시.
So I just want to give you this brief instruction today to remind you of some of these things. Because our coming together for these Mondays is not an ordinary celebration, but this time I did want to enjoy it a bit with telling you about my travels and take some time with that. But this time we come together on Mondays is not for ordinary things. It's for creating positive energy or merit. It's especially meritorious or fortunate day for us out of all the days of the week, because we don't do it on Sunday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So for us, our Mondays are especially exalted over the other days of the week because they are the ones in which we create all this positive energy.
Yeah. Anything that on page number 115.
Page
Dedication.
115.
So